boys. I told him it, yeah. And he used to take people to the drive-in. He'll pay for him and somebody else, but the rest of the guys were inside the trunk. Open up the trunk, and everybody will go to the movies. And a couple of times, I know that for a fact, he was going to a football game, devoted football game at the Orange Show, and he got stopped by the police officers. I was, oh, me going to hospital. Okay, Father, follow me, and I'll lead you to hospital. Okay. Well, the police went that way, and he went this way, straight to the Orange Show, to the game, so he never got to the football game and everything else. But he loved it.
So he was a little conniving then.
Yeah, he was.
I mean, he was not going to give up his football game at the Orange Show.
I always tell people, he invented the drive-in theaters. You know, like drive-in. Because at the Big G, across the street from the Con High School, it was not, he would actually go up on top of the driveway, the sidewalk, to the window and order his food. And every time he had his little Plymouth, you know, beep, 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 that's all you heard like that.
Tell me about his little Plymouth. What was it, a 37?
Yeah, I forgot what year it was. Blanco, I don't Blanco. White one or cream one?
Yeah.
He loved this, but that's, and everybody go back there and make sure he comes Father Valencia, beep, 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 beep. Because he didn't have no rules and regulations.
So he was the first one to, I guess, do the drive-in.
Yeah, he would go up to the sidewalk and top of the curb and go order his food. He never got off. He would get up there and get his food and everything else. So.
Did he contribute to the sports activities of the high school?
I think he did. Yeah, he did. But he would go to all the youth. He was always there for all the kids and everything else.
Was there anybody from the parish that was a great basketball player or a great baseball player or a great
but yeah,
football?
some of them kids that they went to the high school, they were turned out to be good ball players. Yeah. Carrascos was one of them.
What about ¿cómo se llama the basketball player Ramos?
Yeah, was one of them. The next door neighbors.
The next door neighbor, yeah.
Yeah.
Mike Ramos.
Mike Ramos,
a good ball player.
A lot of them.
Yeah. And he would be supportive of all
our
baseball.
Yeah, he loved all the
sports
kids. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Especially the sports. He was very involved in the sports and everything else.
And then he was a good handball player himself. Father Valencia was a good handball player. He liked rebote.
But he wasn't a good sport.
Why is that?
One day I can't think of his name. He was one arm. He only had one arm. And Father would tell him, hey, he's good. Okay. To make it even, I want somebody to tie down. Márrame el otro brazo. I'll play with one arm.
Okay.
No, but the other guy beat the heck out of him bad. Le ganó.
He said no.
He was mad. Get that thing off it. And after Espinosa was the last name. He beat him and everything else. But he was always playing, because we had a handball court next to the church. Ahí jugamos rebote todo.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Tell me about the handball court next to the church.
That was right there. That's why he did a lot of...
Is this the old church?
The old one.
Okay.
Yeah. They had a handball court right there, and we played a lot of handball with the kids and everything else. He kept the kids there. Our neighborhood would come play basketball.
So he had a little
recreation area there for the kids to do up there. So he was always there with the kids and everything. Had a lot of involvement with the kids and everything else.
And he knew that these would be potential parishioners.
Well, he was recruiting for altar service. He would get a lot of the kids there. Altars. We had a lot of good altar service and everything. To the Marcus, one of the other ones up there, Ramos.
Yes.
Next door neighbor. So they did a lot of.
So his thing was to provide something that the kids like, and at the same time, would you be interested in being an altar boy?
Yeah, he'll get everybody else. At that time, there was no girls. At that time, we didn't have no girls allowed yet. So we had to service. A lot of altar service were serving.
And the rebote was next to the church. Now, Deacon Bob, I had no idea we had a rebote there.
Yeah, there was a little place on the side over there.
Because I knew that Father Valencia would play rebote at the Veterans Park, where the rebote courts were.
Yeah.
That he would play there, and then every time he would arrive in his gray-white Plymouth, he would also bring watermelons. He would bring watermelons. So after a few games of rebote, we would go ahead and have watermelons
that
he would bring and share with everybody.
Well, I got them from Cooley, huh?
Possibly.
And that's how everybody got watermelons from Cooley.
Well, Cooley Ranch was the agricultural
Right.
farm that grew watermelons and melons and had a dairy in that
Right.
area.
Good.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, but he was good at that. You know, he
Mhm.
would play with the los veteranos.
Oh, yes,
there
yes.
at,
He'll-
yeah.
He made what he said, his presence was felt every time he goes all over South Colton and everything else. And
Yeah.
he was a good man of the people.
And then in 1936, Deacon Bob, in 1936 he had an accident. What do you remember about the Father Valencia's accident, car accident?
Well, not too much. I know I was on Aguamansa Road, and I think what I understand, he just ran a stop sign. And,
Was it Aguamansa and Rancho? or
yeah, Aguamansa
At the
Rancho.
corner of
Yeah.
Aguamansa and Rancho?
Yeah, he just went there, and last thing I know, next thing we know,
Because he had the reputation of not stopping at stop signs.
no,
He
was-
never recognized stop signs, right, Tony?
That's right. He
No.
didn't. His sister lived down on right there. He was going to see his sister. When he, cause,
to visit his sister.
yeah, because I lived on Fifth, and he would always go down there. And he'd be, like Bob was saying, he'd be honking down, and we'd all say, "Oh, there he goes. Father's going to go see his sister."
Oh, so his sister lived on Fifth?
No, she lived on Aguamansa,
Aguamansa.
just past,
On
just
Aguamansa?
just past on Rancho.
Oh, okay, going towards Aguamansa Road, or?
Yeah, well, yeah, on Aguamansa Road, you know, and then you would pass Rancho.
Uh-huh.
There's just about 3 or 4 houses there on the left. His
On
sister-
there, Diego Rosales?
Yeah, where Diego Rosales lives right now, somewhere in there.
Oh.
His sister lived there.
And Diego Rosales lives on the second house
The second
on
house
the
on the
corner
Right.
of
Rancho.
Rancho in
And,
Aguamansa
Aguamansa,
Road.
right. So
Yeah,
sister lived there in that area. But I
but,
guess he ran the stop sign.
well, he had the reputation, Tony, of not
He didn't stop.
not noticing stop signs.
Nope.
Yeah. So he didn't stop,
Mm-hmm.
and then the other person that had the right of way
Hit him.
ran into him, hit him,
Yeah,
and that's what happened. That's what happened.
that was a real tragic.
Yeah.
Everybody felt it. Everybody felt lost. Like when one of the presidents got killed, you felt that when they hurt me.
Uh-huh.
A todos, even though the way father was, but it was a big tragic accident the way it
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
People were mourning everywhere. He was loved.
So there was a tremendous loss to the community then.
Mm-hmm.
Tremendous
I
loss.
think.
Yeah, yeah. Even now, I think people do remember Father Valencia,
Mhm.
and they have fun memories of him.
Mhm.
I know you do, Tony.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you were an altar boy, weren't you,
No,
Tony?
no.
You were not an altar
No,
boy?
no, no,
You
no.
look like an altar boy. thought
I
you were
looked
an
like
altar
one, but
boy.
I never was. But
Also, I understand that we talked about sports players from Colton that did well, like Mike Ramos in basketball.
Mhm.
We also had some of our young people that went into the priesthood.
Mhm.
We had Pete Lukey that went in the priesthood.
Mhm.
We had Ray Rosales that went in the priesthood.
Mhm.
And also we have Michael Urea that went in the priesthood.
Mhm.
What can you tell us about Father Lukey?
Oh, Machine Luki, I love the guy. He's the one that got me involved in the religion, to be honest with you. I lived a weekend, Crucil weekend in 1978, and he was our spiritual director and leader of the Crucil movement, and I got all his spiritual from him, and he's the one that got me involved more in the church, and eventually he catered me a little bit in the academic program and everything else, so that was a man that loved everything. He was a very, very intelligent man, and to know everything of what he does and everything else, and especially Father Ray, he worked the same thing to the Crucil movement. Me and him got along real good. So I usually get along with all the priests. And the two of them, one of the most guys when he went up there and he came back to. He was only there 1 year at San Salvador Church. And then after he got
Ray
Rosales, yeah. I forgot how long. Marcel Luque was there for quite a while.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
he's 5 or 6 years,
Yeah.
maybe more.
Well, Father Lukey was kind of almost a part of the San Salvador Church
Yes.
because he lived across the street,
Mm-hmm.
and then his father was very active in church
Oh yes,
activities.
yes. Mhm.
His father was very active, not only as a council person, but
Mhm.
also active in church activities. And so was his whole family.
All of
His
them.
whole family. Now, Father Luque went to Colton High School,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
graduated, went to Valley College,
Mm-hmm.
and then he went to seminar
Mm-hmm.
and became a priest. And was San Salvador his first church, or was he placed there afterwards? What year was he placed?
Afterwards, I forgot what year it was, but no, I think he spent some time at Our Lady Guadalupe.
Uh-huh.
También. I guess everybody will go to Our Lady Guadalupe because Father Ray was over there too. Then he came up. I don't exactly. I don't think that was his first parish.
Uh-huh.
Father Monsignor Luque. I don't think it was his first parish.
Mhm. And when did Father Luque come to Colton? Do you remember?
No, I don't remember now.
Yeah.
How long
But you
ago
said
it
you
was.
had influence with him in
Oh yes,
78.
yeah,
78.
yeah.
Now, Father Luque was also instrumental because our San Salvador was an old church.
Mm-hmm,
It
mm-hmm.
was a very old church.
Right.
And Father Luque, coming in as a pastor, as a priest for San Salvador, decided to
Mhm.
build a new church.
Right.
How did he do it?
Well, I heard so many rumors, so I couldn't actually was there because I was at the Immaculate Conception, and then I switched in 1978 after the Christmas. I moved over to San Salvador Church. I've been there ever since.
Oh, you were an Immaculate
I was
before.
Immaculate. I was Father King.
Okay, okay.
So, and I didn't get.
But
to
you
switch
weren't,
them.
you were not a deacon yet.
Oh no, no,
Okay.
no! I didn't get ordained until 1999.
Okay. Do you remember how, what Father Luque did to establish the new church, Tony, in South Colton?
Well, he just decided that it was time to build a new church, and he got the parishioners together, started raising money to buy materials, because a lot of the people there had trades. They were electricians, the carpenters and everything, so most of the labor was donated, okay? So he figured it, this is a temporary church from 1918, here is 1975, and it's time to build a new church, okay?
Uh-huh.
New
Uh-huh.
building. So that, to me, that was the incentive of how he got the people motivated. And of course, people wanted a new church. So everybody got together behind the project, and they decided to build a church.
So they had fundraisers?
Oh, yes, they had
Mhm.
fundraisers,
Lots of
dances.
Jaimaikas?
Yes, dances and everything. Just straight donations going to because it's something you could see that was going to
Uh-huh.
be built.
Uh-huh.
And people donated to that.
Uh-huh. And did they have to destroy the old church and
Yes.
tear it down?
Yeah, because they built this one right on where that one used to be.
Oh, they built on the same location?
Same location, right where it
Okay,
used to
the
be.
new church was built on the same location.
Exactly the same.
Now, where did they have services while the church was being built?
Over at Wilson School for 2 years. I guess he got arrangements with the school district and was able to use it on weekends.
So it took a couple of years to build the
2
new
years,
church?
yeah, it was a 2-year
Yeah.
process.
And you said that the community actively participated
Oh, yes,
in
very
building the
much
new church. Because I do remember, my dad was a construction worker, cement. And I remember he talking about the sidewalks and the
Mhm,
curb and
right.
gutters. And you said, Tony, there were a lot of trades,
Mhm.
people in the trades that came in
Mhm.
and did the electrical work, they did the plumbing, they did everything that needed to be done for the church.
Mhm.
Yeah. And it took 2 years to build the church. And when was it completed, Tony?
But I think it was 1977. Sometime in
1977?
1977,
Uh-huh.
yes. So that's as far as I know. I remember it was 1977.
Yeah. So the church now that we have is about 40 years old or so?
Getting there.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, and then-
almost 40 years old.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in 2017,
Yeah.
it should be 40 years old.
But he knocked the church. What I understand, tumbó la viejita.
See,
There's no choice. They had to build a church, so they got the church. Because when you build a church, you have to go through a lot of formalities. You got to go through. What they did at that time, you can't do it now because everything's got it's all different rules and regulations. But he got it, and they built a church up there and everything else. So that Wilson did their job for 2 years and everything else. But because the reason I say that because I remember that they told me when Monsignor went on vacation, when they came back, the doors they're on the facing the alley, or should have been on the other side, facing the L. That would have been the main entrance. So the whole church turned around when nacieron. And I said,
So-
"What happened?" I said, "Well, when you went on vacation, what happened? Why? Well, the doors are supposed to be on this side, on 7th Street, the double doors.
Uh-huh.
Instead of in the back, they're supposed to be on the side. That was main entrance.
So
That's what
anyway,
happened.
Father Lukey bypassed much of the bureaucracy that was needed to build the new church.
Oh, yes.
He had a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
A lot of it.
And then the bishop being in San Diego, it was easy for a little church like San Salvador to short circuit the process.
Yeah.
And before they knew it
Mhm.
and found out that Father Lukey built a new church,
Mhm.
it was already completed.
Yeah.
And what did Father Lukey say? I won't do it again, eh? I won't do
But
it
you know
again.
that you owe it to the parishioners. There was a lot of people that put a lot of work and effort into that. I mean, we're talking about professionals
Yeah.
and their jobs. So they did a good job. You go in there, you can say, "I said the parishioners did it themselves."
Well, you know, and again, getting back to the cornerstone that Father Valencia laid,
Mm-hmm.
where he got everybody in the parish to be
Mhm.
interested, to
Mhm.
participate and
Mhm.
contribute to the church.
Mm-hmm.
I think the outcome of that was
Mhm.
building the new church in South Colton,
Mhm.
where everybody contributed. Yeah, and you're absolutely right. That priest did a heck of a lot of things for a community in Colton. And then you had Father Rosales, who was also a Colton boy,
Mm-hmm.
that was there for 1 year. You said 1
Yes,
year.
right.
What about Michael Ureya? He was also a Colton boy.
I didn't get to know him that I know him now,
Yeah.
but at that time, no. I don't think he served any time at San Salvador
Yeah.
Church. He would know the other parishes, but he never went up. But he got a late start
Mhm.
to being a priest, and a
Uh-huh.
priest and everything else. He got
Yeah.
up there, but there's 3 people from Colton that became priests.
Yeah.
So
Now, the church, you know, the church by definition doesn't get involved in things outside the church.
mhm.
But you mentioned that Father Valencia was at all the sports activities at Colton.
Mhm.
So I would imagine he encouraged people to continue their education
Mhm.
and complete their high school education. Was there any like Father Luque or Father Rosales or Father Urea that would do the same thing? Kind of support
Mhm.
some of the our kids getting a good education, a solid education. Do you know anything about that, or am I not? I'm staying away. I'm kicking and not. Or getting away from what the purpose of the church is.
Mhm. I think that Father Monsignor Luque and both they really inspired their students, parishioners, to continue their education. That's one of the things with education, college, everything else. They to me and Monsignor Luque, and then Father Ray, they pushed it. They really pushed it for them to get their education, everything else. Because I think San Salvador Church has always been a community of love, compassionate. And as soon as you step in there, I personally probably don't say you feel the love there.
Mhm.
That the prior priests have left there.
Mhm.
That the close community work together as one body of Christ.
Mhm.
And people can tell you the same thing. You go up there, the different parishes, and as soon as you walk in there, you feel the loveness that they give you. Especially
Kind of a welcoming feeling.
a
that you have.
welcoming that you welcome there, that show that whatever priest, Father Valencia, they brought the community together.
Okay.
They're never going to say